This is Debbie with the Food Prepping channel, and today I'm going to show you this is a 4-ingredient diabetic dish, and it says low carb on here, but it says to use lean round steak, and I'm using ground chuck. And another thing that I was supposed to do, it was supposed to be the round steak, 2 tablespoons of the dry onion soup mix, 1 can sliced mushrooms, and then 1 cup fat-free sour cream. And that's the 4 ingredients. Alright, what I did, I don't know how I misread this, but I cut up 3/4 of an onion. I've got the other 4th. I'm gonna grate that into the ground chuck. But I've got in this pan, which is, I've got it on my precision induction cooktop, I've got the 3/4 of an onion and 8 ounces of sliced mushrooms, fresh mushrooms. And I am just letting these cook slowly. I've got the heat on 230, but I think I'm going to turn it down to 200, and I'm just going to let these sweat. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to take these out of this pan once they're done, and I'll bring you back then. But this is a low carb beef stroganoff. The only thing is, it says to use lean round steak, and I'm using beef chuck, ground beef chuck. So I will bring you back when I get further along into this recipe. Okay, I'm back. I've still got the mushrooms and the onions over here in the frying pan. They're still sweating. And I've got 1.5 pounds of ground chuck in this bowl. And I've got the 1/4 of the onion right here. And I'm going to grate this onion into the hamburger so it'll give it the onion taste. And I've seen Rachel Ray do this, and I think it's so cool, because grating an onion with the hamburger is going to put all the onion juice in there and everything, and I just think it's really cool. And I meant to tell you a while ago, I mean, it does say that this is a low carb, and even though I added 3/4 of an onion in here versus the dry onion soup mix, the onion is still okay. If you're diabetic, the onion is still okay for you. Onions are one of those that, onions and mushrooms are those vegetables that are not starchy, and they're okay to have. I mean, they still got carbs in it. It says this has got 3 grams of, this recipe has got 3 grams of carbs in it, and I don't know how that'll be with the onion and all in here, but I still think it's going to be a low carb. Let's see. I think I got enough in there. And I'll say what she puts in here, and I'm just amping this up. I'm just making this ground chuck taste a little bit better, as I'm putting some Worcestershire sauce in here with it. And then I'm just going to mix this together, and I'm going to make ever how many patties I can make with this. And I'm going to take the mushrooms and the onions out of here, and then I'm going to let the patties cook in this. And when I get to where I've got the patties in here, I'll bring you back. Okay, I'm back. I've got the, I hope you can see this, I've got the ground chuck. Let me move this so raise it up some. I've got the ground chuck. I'm patting it out into like a steak. And what I'm going to do, this has got the onion seasoning in it and the Worcestershire sauce, and I'm going to go around like this, and I'm going to make the middle thinner than the outside. That way, when you cook it, it'll remain like the same around. And I'm not going to put any salt and pepper in these because I'm using the dry onion soup mix, and I know that's got salt in it, so I don't have the box here, but I know it's got salt in it, so I'm just not gonna put any in there. I'll probably put some pepper, but not the any salt. Like I said, just make sure that you make the middle smaller than you do the outside. And I've got my, I'm going to have to cut this down. I got it. Alright, I'm going to cut it down to medium, 275. And I scored this into 4 so that I could make 4 hamburger steaks out of these. 2 of them are going to be smaller. My daughter's coming over when she gets off from work tonight, and she's going to get the rest of them and take them home for her and her son, my grandson, and her boyfriend. Alright, so here's the last of this. I'm going to go on and cut this off, and I'll bring you back and show you the next step to this. Okay, I'm back. The ground chuck patties they've gotten as done as I want them right now, because, and I'm going to take them out and put them on this paper plate, because what I'm going to do now is do the rest of it. And this is kind of my own little take on it, because this isn't what exactly the instructions say. Alright, so I've got the water in there. I'm going to go on. I've got 1 tablespoon. I'm going to use 1 tablespoon of this onion soup mix, and I'm going to put that in there. It says to use 2. Maybe I better, I don't know, I'll do 1.5. Okay, because I've already got the onions, and then I'll save this for another time. Alright, and now I'm going to put the mushrooms and the onions back in here. Alright. Alright, and what I'm going to do now is I'm going to take, says to use half of a 16-ounce cup of sour cream. It's supposed to be fat-free sour cream, but because I was doing the high-fat, low-carb thing, I didn't get low-fat. So I'm going to use half of this. And I'm going to put this in here and get this all mixed up together. And then I'm going to turn the heat down to just really like a simmer, real low heat. And I'm just going to let this cook in here. These ground chuck patties, I'm going to put them back in here and let these cook and absorb these flavors for probably another half an hour or so. And what I've got to go with this is not a Super Bowl thing. I guess you could fix these and make meatballs and do this, and that would be okay, to do that, have the meatballs in this and let people get meatballs out of it. That would, I mean, that really would be a good Super Bowl thing, and still low carb. But also, what I'm fixing with this is I'm fixing Brussels sprouts. And I know there's a lot of you out here that think that Brussels sprouts are gross. But do you know that there's a lot of people that like them cooked and cold too? So what I do, and I mean, I've got the recipe on here, but what I do is I have one bag today. I think it was 1.5 pounds of Brussels sprouts, and I cut the ends of them off, and then I put them in my casserole dish, covered them with a little bit, well, I put about 1.5 tablespoons of canola oil on them and mix them all together, and then I put some kosher salt and pepper on them and a couple hunks of butter. I cover them up with aluminum foil, put them on 400 degrees for about 40 minutes. Then I take the aluminum foil off, cut the oven down to 300, and let them cook for another 30 or so minutes. And they're awesome. They are awesome. And you could fix, they're not an expensive vegetable, and they're very good for a diabetic. So you could fix those and get a couple packs of those. Do that. Put them in a bowl for people to just get them. You know, get some, because like I said, you can have them either warm or cold, or room temperature, I guess is what you could say. They're really good. But like I said, I've got this on 230 and it's still bubbling. So I'm going to let these cook. I'm going to put the top back on here. I thought this was the right lid, but it's not. I'm going to put the top back on here, let these cook for another 30 minutes or so, and I'll bring you back when this gets done. Here's my dinner for tonight, and I am so excited over this. It looks so good. I'm telling you, I want you to look at these Brussels sprouts. Let me make sure you can see them. Ah, I love Brussels sprouts. And then here's the Stroganoff, the steak, or hamburger steak stroganoff. And you could, I mean, I was really thinking about this. You really could do meatballs in this and have meatballs for your Super Bowl party. All right, I'm going to take a taste of this and see what it tastes like. Oh my gosh. For some reason, this is very sweet. It is delicious. It is really delicious. Now let me taste my Brussels sprouts. Oh gosh. And this is such a low carb dinner. It really is. My salad, it's got a little bit of everything in it, but nothing that's really that's a bad carb. I call them bad carbs. I guess they're carbs that, non-starchy carbs and starchy carbs. And your starchy carbs are the ones that are they do the worst on people that have sugar diabetes. Your regular carbs, your non-starchy vegetables, are the ones that are a lot better for you than your starchy carbs. Your starchy carbs are your potatoes. But I was reading an article today. I had, well, I'll save that for the other video. Yeah, this is the cooking video, so I'll save that for this. But this is a very low-carb, healthy dinner. And I wish you would try if you haven't tried Brussels sprouts since you were a little kid, give them a try now since you're grown up and see. Just cut the ends off of them. Get the loose leaves off, and then just cover them in. You can use your extra virgin olive oil. I use just a little bit of canola oil today. Your extra virgin olive oil or your canola oil are the best oils for you to use. And so I used the canola oil and made sure that they were all mixed up in the oil, put salt and pepper on them, covered them, put them in my oven like I said. You saw how I made this hamburger or ground beef chuck steak. I mean, this is a very good low-carb dinner. So if you like this recipe, give me a thumbs up, subscribe to my channel, and I will see you later on. Bye. Have a good night.